Hello Year 11. So today's lesson we're doing about plant and animal cloning, but you only need to know about plant cloning. If you're interested, you could look at animal cloning. So here's the folder with all the work in. I'd like to draw your attention to these. This is the current unit's knowledge organizer. If you need to have a map that shows you everything, here it is. Okay, this shows you everything you need to know in this whole topic, right? Now, I know there's a lot of information there, but this is everything. It's all condensed into 4 different slides. There's all of the biology ones, so you don't need to look at them just yet. If you'd like to do a bit of revision, you can. Here's today's lesson, plant cloning. So I'm going to start off by opening the PowerPoint. There's a little clip there that you can look at if you want to. Now, there's a recap of selective breeding here. Okay, look at the wild mustard plant. This plant, okay, hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago looked like this, right? We have then selectively bred cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale, I can't even pronounce that, kohlrabi maybe. Now, we have bred these different plants from that original mustard plant. Okay, remember the main steps in selective breeding. Okay, you need to know these 4 steps. They have to be memory, because every time you get a question involving selective breeding, your answer is always the same. Now, let's move on to the new learning. So, we need to learn how do you clone a plant, because it's the easiest way. The easiest type of cloning is plant cloning, because we do it all the time. We've done it for hundreds of years. If you've ever watched a gardening program, or if you've ever done any gardening, maybe some older person in your family has an allotment, they will take cuttings. What you do is you get the plant that you want to clone, you cut a piece of that plant off. See here, a branch from the parent plant is cut off. Then you plant that branch into a new bit of soil, okay, with a bit of compost and some fertilizer on. That then helps new roots to develop, and then that cutting is identical to the parent plant. That is the oldest form of cloning, and we've done it for centuries. We have now developed a new way of doing this, which is more efficient and much quicker. Okay, but it costs more money. If you're just a gardener, you're going to take a cutting. If you're in a lab and you're working with, say, a very rare seed or a very rare plant, you don't want it to go extinct. Maybe you are a farmer and you've just discovered a new crop that's twice as expensive as the others. You're going to clone as much of that as possible. So what you do is you scrape a sample from the parent plant. That tissue sample is then placed in agar jelly, which is like a growing medium. It's got all the food that that plant would want. Then, after a while, these samples will develop in the agar jelly. You then replant those samples into proper compost, and there you go. You've got 20 clones of that plant just from a leaf. Now, you don't need to know about animal cloning, but if you find this interesting, it is worth having a little read. I'm not going to read about it here because it's not necessary for you to know, but you can just Google Dolly the sheep, for example, or you can Google adult cell cloning. Now, the question that I'd like you to try is on here. There it is. The answers are at the bottom. I'm not going to show them to you just yet, so I'd like you to have a go at this. Try and answer it, then go to the bottom, check your answers, and then maybe mark yourself. I'd like you to email a copy of this, whether it's a picture or whether you attach it to the email. That's perfect. Then, if the PowerPoint was a bit too much, remember from this genetic engineering one that you got from last lesson, here is the cloning and plant stuff on the right hand side. Okay, please make some notes on this, then answer the question. Okay, and that's all you need to do for today. We're getting right to the end of this topic now, so we're going to start focusing on revision soon.